Okay, you all settled in, all right? Can you hear me just fine? Okay then, let's talk. Welcome to the Halfie Project channel. My name is Becky and thank you for joining me once again in this kitchen. Well, I guess this is your first time, right? First time joining me here in my kitchen for Let's Talk. So today I thought we could talk about, wait for it, being mixed Korean. No surprise. But lately I've been asked by a couple of people, why do you always talk about sad stories? How come you guys always seem to harp about the things like not fitting in, not feeling welcome, those common things, those easy to point out tropes of mixed race that seem to plague media? Well, in response, I would say it is an absolutely necessary thing to unpack nuanced topics such as mixed race and culture through many conversations and through awareness to the point where what was once alien becomes so plain to everyone, it's the common belief and there's no need to point it out anymore. But until that day, we will discuss, dissect, and deliberate over our own mixed experiences, and you're more than welcome to join in. Undoubtedly, there are a lot of painful stories that come up when we discuss these issues of history of mixed race, mixed culture, one foot in, one foot out, and it's my honest hope that we can address these stories with understanding on this channel and through our podcast. Look, the truth is, never can those stories be categorized as just sad. But today I thought we could take a right turn and drive along happiness lane as I gather a few flowers that I like to call the 5 things I love about being mixed Korean. Number 1, the offered door to another world. Now I use the term offered because this is not a given. You choose to accept if you're going to walk through that door. See, you have the option to learn and to live in a totally different world, a totally different culture, a totally different language that isn't so just naturally given to those who are not part of that community if we're talking about ethnically speaking or your own heritage or the background of one of your parents. You have a kind of, I guess, not asked for, given chance to enter into one parent or the other parent's history or community or background. And that is a really special thing. Something that I've noticed being mixed Korean myself is how when you're in a setting with Korean people, they are more likely to call you their own as opposed to immediately lump you together with a certain group of, let's say, white Americans that were also with me at the time, simply on maybe appearance alone or by saying, oh, my mom's Korean, or having an ability to speak Korean. That feels more natural because it's easier to associate somebody who has Korean heritage as relating to in a Korean way. That is something that was an offered opportunity for me. And I walked through that door. And so I think people who have these mixed backgrounds, you do have that benefit to be able to go through these doors that are offered to you purely on the basis of who you are. That is a blessing. The second thing, the skills of adapting. How you talk to different people, and you learn what it means to have conversations with those who don't speak the same language as you fluently maybe, or people who live in totally different communities than what you might have grown up in, but you are used to speaking to people who maybe those around you consider as foreign or weird or alien. And so having that ability to go from one place to the other, to speak to this side and that side, so to say, to speak this language and speak that language, and understand these two contexts and two backgrounds, it gives you, I would say, a kind of empathy or compassion or recognition of other people on a more human level as opposed to what you see face value. This is something that I've realized having spoken to or becoming friends with or working with people from all different backgrounds, is this seeing them as who they are, as the person first, rather than the skills or what's put on paper or what people see them as. Case in point, a person who maybe is not funny or intelligent or educated in one language that you are fluent in a different language, they might be a comedian, a very intelligent person, a highly educated, respected individual, but you will never know because you don't speak their language. And so right away you're saying, oh, you don't speak English, so they must not be funny, they must not be smart, they must not be educated or intelligent. The problem is you are judging them based on that quality of language ability is something that you have. But if you are growing up with different communities, different cultures, different languages, I hope, at least in my case, that you are able to look past those qualities that you would initially define as intelligent or smart or funny or capable and see them for the individual that they actually are, which is always a whole lot more than just the sum of their parts. Third thing that I love about being mixed, standing out. Of course, it depends on where you are, about being a minority, but when you stand out in some settings, yeah, it can feel sometimes annoying or even frightening at times. But in the long run, I would say that those things do make you stronger, and gone the right direction, they can make you more sure in your skin. Because no one can take that away from you. No one can take away from you what you look like, what you appear as, and maybe people are gonna stare, but let them stare. The most important thing is that you become fully confident in your own skin. And I literally mean that. Confident with the color of your skin, confident with the shape of your face, with your hair, with your eyes. These things that you are born with, these things that you should feel proud of, regardless of how everyone else around you look, regardless of how everyone around you is speaking about you, because this is something that is uniquely yours. I think when you grow up with this idea that people are looking at you or judging you for your certain appearance, yeah, that's a hard thing, but we're not here to talk about the hard things today. We're here to talk about the good things. And I think that standing out is also a good thing. Yeah, I mean, it can feel isolating, but ultimately in the end, you get the opportunity to go through that experience, and you have the opportunity to really grow and accept and love yourself. And that is something nobody can take away from you. Having different angles to consider. The benefit of having family members who come from widely different backgrounds means that they're gonna have different thought processes, Western versus Eastern, American versus Korean. And speaking to others with different points of view, it widens your own, which in turn affects how you treat others and handle circumstances and how you view the world. That is a huge benefit. When we think about it in the simple scale of go and travel the world, just go live in a different country, learn a new language, it's going to broaden your horizons. This is something that a lot of people who grow up in mixed homes have naturally, have automatically. Having, individuals in your home growing up with you, teaching you things from a different perspective, a different point of view. And that is a huge, huge benefit, especially because these communities that we live in today, they rarely have just four walls. We are part of a greater community, and having the ability to commune, having the ability to communicate, to have the ability to feel a sense of camaraderie with those who might think very differently from you because you are accustomed to looking at things from different angles. That's an enormous benefit that some people never figure out throughout their whole lives. But if you really take that as an advantage to yourself and grow and learn how to talk to anyone, even if you can't understand them, maybe you can see from their point of view, that is really a powerful skill to have. And number 5, we're already at number 5, you have the opportunity to rediscover yourself. Finding yourself in the context of how others view you. So we think about ourselves for one part of our lives. We might view ourselves as, I'm just me, whatever, I'm just a kid, going to school, have friends. But then you also discover that people outside view you maybe a little bit differently. And when that happens, you learn new things about yourself. You learn new things about your parents. Or you find interest in studying your mother tongue. And once you do, you realize that there are so many stories about your mom that you never knew before. And that changes the way how you view her. That changes the way how you view your parents, how you view the way you were raised, why you do certain things that you do, and why you behave in certain circumstances. And every time you step into a new context and put yourself in that surrounding, you learn new things about yourself because you oftentimes are reflected in how that outside context is looking at you. And that is constantly seeing new angles of yourself. It's like there's a mirror placed here. I thought I only looked like this. Suddenly you realize there's a mirror back here too, and I see the other angle as well. You're discovering yourself, not in the way of like, I didn't know anything about me, but more like you become more rounded out, more nuanced, more layered. And that is really a joy, to be able to learn more about yourself, to gain a new sort of self-awareness, because only once you are aware of who you are, only once you feel confident and solid and have a good understanding about yourself, that's how you're able to relate with the world outside you. If you're kind to yourself and you love yourself and you understand yourself, I really believe that helps you to be kind to others, to love others, to understand others. And that is absolutely key in making healthy societies. And I would say a huge added benefit to being mixed and growing up in a mixed home is that through those difficulties of asking who am I and trying to seek out your identity and where do I fit in, ultimately, I believe that the conclusion you can draw is, I'm just me and I love me and I'm okay with me and I understand me. And that helps you to understand and love and communicate with those around you. Those are the kind of things that we talk about here on the Halfie Project. It was short, it was sweet, it was only 5 things. And I think there are hundreds and thousands more. And I'm definitely happy to be who I am, in the skin that I have, the way that I look, where I am today, the things that I've gone through, and how I'm coming out of them. I'm proud of that. And I hope that you can be proud of yourself too, in your circumstance, with how you look, with wherever you are. And I'm just glad that you could join me as we have these kind of conversations. Thank you for joining me here for this episode of Let's Talk. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear some more things, some more things that you are happy about growing up mixed and the experiences that you had that you're thankful for. Leave it in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, The Halfie Project. We also have a podcast where we have more conversations. You get deeper context. And you can find that anywhere that you get your podcasts at the Halfie Project podcast. And if you'd like to get in touch, make sure you do by emailing us at thehalfieproject@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. We are the Halfie Project.